BBC News with Sue Montgomery. The Ukrainian president has used an address to the World Economic Forum in Davos to urge allies to accelerate their military assistance. Volodymyr Zelensky said Western tanks and air defense systems had to be supplied before Russia launched new offensives. The head of NATO, Jens Stoltenberg, said Ukraine needed more advanced weapons.
We need to provide more weapons and more advanced weapons, and therefore I welcome the announcements by several allies over the last days for more armor, for more battle tanks, but also more advanced air defense systems. So allies are stepping up. There will be an important meeting this week in Ramstein in Germany, where I expect allies to make even more announcements on more support for Ukraine.
He added that the only way to a negotiated peaceful solution was to convince President Putin that he would not win. The head of the Ukrainian police force, Ihor Klimenko, will take over as acting interior minister after his predecessor died in a helicopter crash. The accident that killed Denis Monastyrsky happened in foggy weather in a suburb of Kiev and set a kindergarten on fire. Emergency services say 14 people died, including one child. Ukraine's Deputy Interior Minister, Maria Kopyan, said Ukrainian officials face threats on a daily basis.
Right now in Ukraine, everything is dangerous. You can be under the attack in every corner of our country, including helicopter rides, car rides, just sitting at your flat and your houses. You can be targeted. And of course, each movement across the country of any official government is a very risky operation.
The US has described as repugnant the latest comments by the Russian foreign minister, who likened Washington's opposition to the invasion of Ukraine to Hitler's attempts to destroy Europe's Jews. The State Department said Sergei Lavrov's statement was absurd. The US Justice Department says it's led an international effort to disrupt the China-based cryptocurrency exchange Bitslato, which it accuses of operating as a high-tech hub for criminals. The Russian founder of Bitslato has been arrested in Miami. The US Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco said anyone who'd benefited from the hub was now a target.
To all of those exploiting the cryptocurrency ecosystem to enable crypto crime, we have a clear message. We will not only target hackers, fraudsters, and criminals that mask their profits in cryptocurrency, we are also unleashing the full force of the Department of Justice on the illicit actors and entities that support cyber criminals, like Legadimov and Bitslato.
BBC News. Israel's High Court has ruled that a key coalition partner of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu cannot serve as a minister because of a recent criminal conviction. The judges ruled that the appointment of Aryeh Deri was unreasonable in the extreme because of his conviction for tax offences. He is the leader of the ultra-Orthodox Shas party, which is a big bloc in Mr Netanyahu's coalition. His party says it will act to correct what it calls an injustice. But Moshe Torpaz of the Liberal Yesh Atid party said the law had to be obeyed.
We have to understand that whatever the Supreme Court states is the law in Israel, and Aryeh Deri, Benjamin Netanyahu, or every other party has to react, has to say yes to whatever the court has said. So we say on this day, there are judges in Jerusalem, we're not replacing them, we're not undertaking them, we have to obey them.
Researchers have determined that Greenland's ice cap was hotter in the first decade of this century than at any time over the past 1,000 years. The scientists say the resulting melting of the ice sheet is now contributing significantly to global sea levels. Anti-government protesters from across Peru are gathering in the capital Lima to demand the resignation of President Dina Boluarte and new elections. They're also calling for the release from custody of her deposed left-wing predecessor, Pedro Castillo. A state of emergency is in force in the capital. Busloads of protesters have been arriving from southern Andean provinces. A captive tiger has been shot dead in South Africa after escaping from her cage and mauling a man. Sheba killed 2 dogs, a pig and a deer during her 6-day rampage on the outskirts of Johannesburg. Tigers are not native to South Africa, but are bred there to be kept as pets or to be sold abroad. BBC News.